Welcome to the channel. My name is Modine and here is Rabbit and More. If you are new to the channel, well, all I do here is talk about rabbit farming and any other thing regarding livestock farming in Ghana. I'm a proud rabbit farmer. Currently, I'm a bit on a break because I'm traveling, but we still have an active community going where we discuss a lot of different things to help farmers back in Ghana, Africa, and we have a lot of people also joining in from the Caribbean as well. So since the climate are the same and we are almost the same in cultural and thinking, it makes sense to talk about all of things because usually we face the same challenges almost. So today's topic I'm about to discuss is also inspired by one of the conversations we had on our Clubhouse platform. We do that every Friday, so if you're interested, I'll leave the link in the description below so you come join us, have that discussion. So I'm currently in one forest area here because I just felt like coming out to sit somewhere and then have a chit chat with you guys. So here is it. The reason why farming in Africa is difficult, or in Ghana to be specific, or the struggles of an African farmer, right? I'm going to touch on three main things, right? It's going to be about partnerships, I'm going to talk about finances, and I'm going to talk about limited information. Now, I know there are some other things that may spring up like technical know-how, etc., but I feel some of all these things spring out from these topics, right? We were having a conversation and talking about why some farmers deliberately set up others for failure, right? Where there is this notion that we are in competition with everybody else, and so if we have a good way of doing something, the best way to move forward with it is to keep it a secret, and we forget that one day we are going to die with that secret. Secondly, we cannot serve the whole nation. You know, if you're a poultry farmer, there is no way you are going to serve the whole nation because you need everybody else on board. Trust me. Even if you don't need other poultry farmers on board, you need people who have the know-how in bringing some of the things you need to make your farm a success. So for example, you need people who will look at machinery to develop new stuff that might help you, and this is all about sharing information. If you don't share information, no one will actually know. So the information bit, a lot of farmers like to withhold information, which so-called information herding. They pile up information and just keep it for themselves, and they do not share it, and that is a bad thing. You know, it is really a bad thing because in as much as we think we are in competition with everybody else, we are still starving the same industry we seek to make grow, or we seek to see grow. You know, it is a shame that in the space of rabbit farming, for example, there are farmers who would definitely not want to share certain vital information to you, probably because they didn't do the right record keeping. And so when you go to them as farmers, they usually don't give you all you need to know, you know, to help you as a startup farmer, you know. And these are some of the things we need to be talking about as farmers in Ghana and in Africa, to be specific. I'm recently very happy about one thing farming in Africa is doing. Fred has started traveling around and having partnerships with other farmers in and around the continent, which is really, really good. He's like taking that step of what the Maya is doing with by means of like uniting African content creators and showcasing Africa by way of tourism, development, infrastructure, how do you call it, business whatsoever. Mother Maya is doing that, and now Fred is taking the agricultural arm of that and trying to not only share vital information with other people, you know, but also trying to link up and learn from within the continent, because within the continent is we have a lot of knowledge amongst us to share, you know. And we have our own challenges and we have our own uniqueness, you know. We can get all the other information from the West, but one thing we need to get straight is that all those information may help, but it limits us because we have our own climate, and for our own climate we need to develop things that really works for our climate and not the other way around. You get it? There are certain medications that have been that works very well in the West, but anytime it comes to us, it works not so good, simply because maybe there are climate issues, or the conditions with which those ones were made wasn't in our thought. We weren't in their thoughts. You know, it may be a global thing, but we definitely weren't in their thoughts. And so some of the things, based on experiences as farmers in Africa, we tend to create our own unique ways of handling some of these issues, you know. And so once we do that, we need to share, and that is how come this information can go on and on and on and around for everybody to get in touch with that and create some sort of a good ecosystem where information is abound. You know, it's abound. We have it like a lot, and people can actually reach it and use it to see the industry grow. This is one thing we do not have. Secondly, we do not have the proper financing. Right now, it boils down to a whole lot of things. For example, in Ghana, it is now that we are working on the Ghana card and the proper addressing system, you know, where people cannot be identified or located properly. You know, when people can have multiple identities and so ever, it creates some huge level of lack of trust, you know, in the system. And if there is lack of trust, what it means is that the financial institutions aren't going to trust you to give you loan. And for them to even give you loan now, they have to put in other measures that works well for them, because it is, so quote unquote, their money, and they have to secure their money. And so you have things like, okay, bring us and show us your collateral. Usually it must be higher than what you're going to take. You have high interest rates, which is usually not helpful at the end, because you end up paying times 2, times 3 of whatever it is that you went in for. And depending on what you're producing, it isn't that the market is already created in a vibrant way. You know, you have to dig in there and create that side of logistic chain, you know, so that you build your business and grow it from that angle. So finance is a bit stagnant, but it's also related to lack of trust based on our infrastructure growth as a country or as a continent, you know. Elsewhere, there are certain unique places. So for example, if you work in the West, a lot of people get loans very easily, especially smallholder loans. You can get it easily if you can prove a few things here and there. Usually for an average worker here in Europe, for example, if you're able to show proof of work, your working contract that, hey, I'm working here and this is my last 3 months pay slip and so on, you're able to get a loan easy and quick. And so it's because they can track you at any given time. Anytime they want to find you, they will definitely find you. And so these are some of the things that keeps it undertone. Now, the government could also help, right, by creating some sort of a good collaborative workforce partnership between themselves and the farmers, you know, and create an atmosphere where once they are the number one people who buy the things directly from the farmers, they can now control what they give us and what they take in a way, you know. So for example, if the government of Ghana can come out right now and says that if any farm is able to produce, let's say 2,000 let's say kilos of rabbit meat, we are going to buy it every month, right? And so if that is what they want to go for, they will give you their prices and they will say you can come for money from this. I mean, sometimes it may not necessarily be in ready cash in your hand, but it could just be like incentives. So you want to get breeders for your farm, they have it. They can provide the breeders. If you want cages, they have a place where you could go for the cages and all that stuff. And then there'll be like a markup where you pay gradually of it, but you already have it, and that gradual payments may be deducted directly from the produce you bring them. You get it? And with time you will own the other things outright, because they've created a market for you. You are getting money in your pocket and they provide you with all the logistics you need, not necessarily the cash. And so this time around there isn't a thing of trust and everything, because it's been made like some sort of like a barter trade. You're trading your time and value and passion to raise animals so that the government will buy it from you and sell it for other people etc., but making the atmosphere a good one for you to always be able to sell your produce when needed. And whenever you cross their threshold of what they need, then we talk about another sector where maybe the rest is exported to places where that produce is needed. I think that way the government also can come up with a proper standardization. This is another topic we are discussing currently, or we discuss currently on the Clubhouse platform. When there is standardization, then there is a need for let's say a national grade type of feeding scheme for rabbits. So for example, you have companies that invest in this area because they know that, oh, now government is buying about 10,000 tons of meat from farmers every single month, and this creates a very big gap for producing rabbit feed, and so now you have a lot of people going to conduct proper research into what nutritious things should go into the body of the rabbit to grow it in a very good way for the public and stuff like that. And so you have everything ongoing like in a very good way, and it becomes like a good surrounded chain where people get the actual benefit of everything. And so that is the financial aspect and what I'm going to talk about it over there. Now the next part is partnership. Now partnership is that we usually fear collaborating with other people. We fear sharing our it comes down to the bit of information as well. But in this case, we have farmers who are good at one thing and farmers who are good at the other. Team up and share that how do we call it, that value you both have. When you team up, for example, one person is good in making cages, but the other person has a system of raising or making feed and all that stuff. In a community where you can all share and grow to see that your rabbits or your livestock or whatever you're doing attains a certain unique characteristic where it is good for the end market, partnership is always really good. It's not partnership among farmers only, but we are talking about partnership with universities, with not only the universities, but amongst veterinary doctors, for example, and trade unions, for example. Great partnerships that will go a long way to create that type of atmosphere for people to know more about the industry as a whole. So there is a lot more. I know there are things I might not have touched on, but my honorable viewers out there, I know you guys will touch on it in the comment section. This is a conversation that needs to be had, and we need to start it some way, somehow. It's not as if someone is overly committed or overly dedicated to see agriculture go on well in Ghana than the other, but sometimes we need to just start it from a certain point. I may be passionate, and this is how I'm trying to show it, and there's someone out there who is also passionate but can't be in front of the camera. So I suggest that we join up and we team up and then work in a very good way. Right now, since all those bigger scale things are not happening, if you are someone who is in government and you're also very passionate about rabbit farming and you join some of these communities and you know exactly what is going on, then probably you could start pushing an agenda to recognize it, or any of the smallholder farmers around the country. There are things that can be instituted to actually help and create massive employment, because the government single-handedly can arrange with top countries that do eat a lot of rabbit meat, and then we can supply it from our ends, because Ghana has everything to massively promote and do rabbit farming in like huge in a bigger scale, on a bigger scale. One other thing is also the possibility of we creating our own breed. It comes with years of experience, research, and information that goes about. So when people are sharing what works for them on their farm, etc., and we are partnering with the right institutions, Center for Scientific Research and whatnot, I don't know their name, I always forget, CSIR or something like that. All these other bodies, the Veterinary Authority of Ghana, the Ministry of Agricultural and Veterinary Services, all these bodies, when we start interacting with them and we share vital data with them, then we can gradually start moving towards a certain area where we say, okay, just like we create hybrid plants that work for Ghana, that works for the climate, we can also create our own breed that caters to the need of our economic values as a country and as a continent as a whole. So this is all I'm going to say about this topic, the struggles we go through and some of the things we can do to improve. Let me know what you think about in the comment section below. Do not shy away from telling us exactly what you think. I'm not supposed to be right on any of the things. I'm just driving a conversation. Let me know about what you think in this whole thing that I've presented here, and then we'll take it to another level. Happy farming, guys. If you have any questions, do feel free to ask me anytime. You can also join the group on Telegram and on Clubhouse, and do not forget to subscribe and also share this video so others can also indulge in the knowledge we are sharing right here. Peace and have a good one.